What's good, y'all? I'm back again with another vid. Hope y'all doing well and living well. And today I really want to talk about something that is relevant in probably all of our lives, and just to make you aware of this, because either you can continue to suffer unconsciously, or if you watch this video, you'll now be aware of the suffering you are creating for yourself. And now it's your choice if you choose to want to experience that suffering continuously. So without further ado, the name of the video: the only problems you have are the ones that you created. So that might sound like a foreign topic to you. Like, what do you mean? I have all these problems in my life. I got to deal with all of this and all of that. But if we really break it down, the only problems you really ever have in your life are the problems you decide that are problems. Everything is just situations, but until we deem it to be a problem, it can just be a scenario and a situation. But we're so quick to create a problem because it gets rid of our current state of living, and our minds are trying to keep us safe. So when something comes up that threatens that safety, or threatens how your life is now, which is a familiarity, then your life is out of balance, and you start to create problems and have these problems in your mind. But what is a problem? How many times are problems dealt with in the moment? If you really break it down, maybe let's say 90% of the time, you don't have a problem actually in this present moment. You have problems that you're thinking about that may have happened in the past, or something that you have to deal with in the future. It really only becomes a problem when it's a situation that is yet to be dealt with. But instead of wasting so much time thinking about it and giving it all your energy, allow it to happen when it happens. Like I said, if you don't deem it to be a problem, it's just a situation to be dealt with in the present moment. And also, if you think about it, we don't have the time to necessarily create an entire story in the present moment. You're just experiencing the situation. So I feel like we have all the tools to handle whatever it is we go through, but we think about it so much, and we're so caught up in thought about it, that we create problems and stories, and now you have a bad life because you've created all of these problems in your head for situations that you don't even have to deal with yet. But you're so caught up in, oh, this is a problem, my life is terrible, all of these thoughts, but you're creating the problem in your head. And why? Because if I have a problem in my life, that same problem might be a solution to you. So how is it that there's really any problems? Okay, there's obviously some problems in the world. We can't be naive about that. But problems in your own specific life are created by you in your mind. And you may think it's impossible to live a life without problems, but that can really be your life if you stop creating them in your mind. And now it's easier said than done, but just knowing that you are creating the problems in your mind and persisting and continuing them on in your head, continuing on this narrative in your head, it's a lot easier to become aware and start telling yourself that you don't have no problems. You just have situations that need to be dealt with. And if you think about it, a lot of our lives, I feel, are a lot better than we think they are. We spend so much time thinking about the what if, the what happened, all of these things, but we have this present moment right here, this space right here always, to create the life we want to live, to not create problems. But we end up wasting that time creating and thinking about problems in the future, instead of realizing that right now we have no problem. A lot of the times there's no problem right here, right now, in this moment, other than the fact that you're thinking about problems. But there's not a lot of times nothing to deal with in the present moment. So, and I also feel like a problem becomes a problem when you resist the isness of things, when you don't want to accept life for what it is. You have it going differently in your mind, and when life happens this way, it's now a problem. But it's not. It's just something that you can adapt to, and something that you can use to better your life, instead of you looking at it as a problem. And that's why perspective is one of the biggest things in life, because we get so caught up in viewing life in a certain light that we create stories and narratives in an entire life and identity based upon your problems. So why would you ever want to let go of your problems if you literally identify with your problems? You identify with your struggle. Why would you ever want to let it go? It's like letting go a part of you. And I feel like when people say the saying, "it is what it is," one of my favorite sayings, it almost sounds like you're surrendering to the moment, or you're just allowing things to be. But I feel like that's it in a way. But it's so important to just have that mindset. It is what it is in some situations, because you spend so much time thinking about a situation when you could have just accepted it is what it is. And now you go with the isness, the exception of that situation, and continue to move on. Bad things happen to everybody, but I think one of the biggest things that makes them persist in our lives is having resistance to those problems. Like, we'll get a problem in our life and we'll be mad that we have a problem. You'll be mad like, why am I dealing with this? Why is this coming to me? But a problem, all it is a seed to grow. Like, whenever you have a problem in your life, usually you get through it and you come out better on the other side. So instead of looking at things as a problem, look at them as a solution, as a challenge, as an opportunity to get better in life. Your regular routine, your regular thought processes are being challenged for you to expand and open up more. But we're so fixated and caught up in trying to continue our routine and what we think is familiar, that we don't see we see problems as problems rather than something that can better us, that can be the peace that we need, instead of something that can destroy your life. And that's all it is. The difference is having that perspective and that awareness that I don't have to create this problem in my mind just because an imbalance in my life has happened. You don't have to create that problem in your mind. And like I've mentioned earlier, the only problems you have are in your mind. The problem that I have create in my mind, I don't create problems no more because I'm aware of this situation. The only problems you have in your life only exist in your mind, based on your life story, based on your perspective. And like I said, there's obviously big problems in the world that we can all play a part in finding a solution to. But at the same time, most of the problems in your life simply only exist in here only. Because this, like I said, the same problem to me might be the solution for you. So it's just based on your own mind and what you create and what you deem to be something that is a problem. If you're not convinced enough that you're creating your problems, then think about it like this. Deciding something is a problem in your mind, you have already lost. You're giving your energy, your power, your attention to that thing. And for what? Just because it's something that is out of the normal, or something that you have to deal with, a situation that you have to deal with, doesn't mean you have to give that your power, energy, and attention right now, instead of just waiting for the moment for it to come to deal with it. Like I said, you got the tools to deal with it, but you're spending so much time overthinking about it that you get so caught up, and now you have all these problems, and then you can't even think clear enough to create a solution because you have already created this narrative in your mind. And this is probably one of my favorite quotes or pieces of the video. Hear me closely. The only problem you have in your life is you giving your power to a situation that does not deserve it. You don't have to create problems until you give your energy to that thing. So the only problem you ever really had is you giving your energy to things that aren't problems, or things that shouldn't have your energy, shouldn't take up this present moment, when the problem is not technically in this moment. And one of the best ways to solve problems is knowing that all problems can be solved once you don't make that thing a problem anymore. It only is a problem when you've created that problem in your mind. That's it. That's all. And like I said, that thing can be a solution to you just based on how you look at it. So whenever a challenge or something out of the normal arises in your life, realize that first it started in your mind. You created it in your mind. You made the problem in your mind. So if you ever heard, if you have a problem or something going on in your life or in your mind, you might have heard the quote, you can't solve it with the same thinking that got you into the problem. So what does that mean? I feel like just you being aware of whenever you start to create problems in your mind, you're already rising above the thoughts in your mind because you're aware of them, you're witnessing them, you're the watcher of your thoughts. So then you can differentiate yourself from identifying with the problem. So stop creating problems in your mind. Everything is going to be created in here. So you write your story, whatever it is, and continue to create a narrative that suits the life you want to live. It's easy to create problems, to find things that disrupt and interrupt our daily lives and daily habits and daily things we like to do. But what is life without the unknown, without the challenge, without the opportunity for solution? And that's all the problem is, the opportunity for solution. So stop creating problems in your mind. Be aware of yourself when you create problems in your mind, and don't get mad at yourself. Just recognize, oh, I'm creating a problem for something that I don't even have to deal with for 10 days, for until tomorrow, until whenever it is. Allow yourself the peace right now. Feel the peace right now, and don't let your mind and overthinking take away the peace that you have most of the time in the present moment. But yeah, man, the only problems we have are the ones that we created. I appreciate y'all for listening. Let's get it, let's go. I love y'all. We out unlimited. And you ever heard that song? That's just not my problem.